Q damage drops from 55 scaling to 155 to 50 scaling to 150. Unless you're releasing one trick, there's no reason to be playing the champ if your main goal is to climb. An average B-tier jungler is where we see fit for League moving forward. To much of our surprise, and probably many others as well, Rengar doesn't have a completely insane win rate after his 12.6 changes, so Riot's even throwing in an extra buff. W bonus monster damage is going from 65 scaling to 130 to 85 scaling to 150. Q bonus damage is being reduced by 40% on structure. The Q nerf doesn't really affect Rengar jungle too much, so it's overall a net positive change to his early clear speed. The cat will be one of the premier jungle pickups for 12.7, finding a spot in our...
Take me away from home. Show me all the places I've never known. The world chase nights, race all of these broken dreams in flight, and we'll fly.
Alrighty, and welcome everybody to a nice little land match between the Concordia Falcons and the Carthage Firebirds on this beautiful Tuesday evening. We're getting right back in right away into picks and ban phase here on beautiful Pro Draft. We already got a Kali ban and a Morgana ban going down from both sides. Here with my fellow caster Nat is not a bug here, and so we are very excited getting this game in. First LAN of the season for either team. We have Carthage B team going on today against the Falcons. We have a battle between Navigators and Emergence. You know, Firebirds 8-0, sorry, in their Navigators series in the NECC. Falcons going to be in Emergence, which is going to be the higher tier. So we do have a battle of supremacy on this. Who's going to come out on top?
Truly.
Firebird's going to try and remain undefeated, even though this isn't an actual NECC division game. But we're going to see if we can try and at least come out with a dub and make ourselves 9-0 with a little asterisk.
Absolutely, yeah. Just getting right off here, Akali, Nautilus, Volibear makes complete sense. I know the Volibear and the Akali in particular, comfort for a couple of Falcons players. Nautilus just insanely good support right now, very high priority, and Korea in particular, generally first picked, first banned. Morgana, Zeri, Fiddlesticks, that's all comfort for the Firebirds. We've seen it 1,000 times. Fyro just insane on that Zeri, and courtesy of last match, actually, Pox Morgana just going completely crazy. But they made a huge mistake in leaving the Xayah open for Fyro. As we know, Fyro very good on the Xayah.
First time this season on Xayah?
Oh, no. There's been a couple, but I bet you can't guess his win rate.
Probably, if I would have to say, probably 100%.
And you would be correct.
Which would make sense because they haven't lost a game.
True, yes.
We're going to put that one out there. We do see a Fiddlesticks man, a little weird because Falcons didn't see who was playing this game. We do not have Pagarian in this game, so nobody plays Fiddlesticks. And we do have a fellow Jinx player on the Falcons team. Really good pick, high priority pick, ADC, super high hyper carry. Going to be going into the Xayah, obviously. ADC pick on one side, try and get the ADC pick on the other side. We do have a Leona pick. Leona as a bot lane player, God, love to hate her and love to play her at the same time. If you don't get her, she's annoying to have to deal with, but if you can play Leona, it's pretty much you go in 1v5 and you can still walk out with half of your health for no reason.
That W bonus resistance is just absolutely crazy. She's capable of completely locking down a whole team for several seconds. Also very good with the Jinx in particular. Seen pick a lot in pro play. Just got that nice easy E into the Jinx traps, pretty much locks up a kill right away. And now we also see the Nami pick coming out from Hawk, and we know very good on that Nami also. It's very tough to draft against these Firebirds. They got a lot of great comfort picks. Veigar, love me some Veigar.
Do have to love Houston Veigar. We see Pawsy guy going to be down on that mid lane. He does love playing mages. You know, Xerath, Veigar is going to be his comfort picks going down onto there. But we can also see that also can be flex. Happy Samoyed is also very comfortable on Veigar. He does perform very well. And it's interesting, we haven't seen an Akshan ban. We know Akshan. Happy Samoyed, very, very comfortable on the Akshan pick. Very good into that. Then we do see a Corki pick on the side of the Falcons, which is a little bit interesting. We do know Corki was kind of nerfed out of the insane meta that he was in a few months ago. That package nerf really hit him hard. Used to be able to come up every time there was a dragon up, then they did take it out. So you couldn't have that package up every time there was a dragon, which is a huge advantage for Corki. So that very interesting if he is going to be able to kind of skill diff in the mid lane to try and get ahead very early and start snowballing. Corki, no matter how bad he is in the meta, will always be a terrific scaler. Then we do see a Kayle ban on the side of the Falcons, which is a little odd. You know, Kayle very annoying to have to deal with, but seeing that NDXR Clyde is going to be their top laner, most likely not going to be able to pick Kayle going into that. He does love tanky bruisers, Garen, Cho'Gath, Gwen especially. She's going to be that kind of rounding out his kind of selection. So we got the split pushing in Gwen. We do have the team fight bruising in both Garen and Cho'Gath, and just the all-out tank in Cho'Gath. We do see the Ornn ban also. That's going to be directed towards Pawsey guy in the top lane, but we don't really know where anybody is going at the moment. So that's going to be something that we're going to have to see in Champ Select. We can make our fair assumptions, but we never know.
Yeah. Firebird's able to flex so many different ways, so many flexible players. Fire being able to play jungle and ADC so well. So honestly, we could be seeing Fire going to the AD carry role and getting the Xayah, which would be massive for this team. Corki in particular, I find to be a very, very good matchup into Veigar. You can harass him out of lane and you scale almost equally as hard. He's just very, very good answer into this Veigar. Now a Rammus pick. Rammus not super common in this meta. It's been a little weird showing it this early, especially since there's only a Xayah as far as auto-attacking champions. Rammus being able to boost his defense upwards of 600 and dealing damage to people with their own auto attacks. So this is clearly trying to shut down that AD carry, try to make him less effective. And Zach, just such a flexible juggler, incredible at ganking and just a fantastic front line. It's a really good pick out of the Firebirds here.
Well, yeah, and so you see that Zach really good. And we do like to say Zach is flexible. Not gonna get the corny jokes out, but he's a little goo guy, so he's a bit flexible. But yes, you were right on that Rammus pick. Very interesting, especially showing it that early. Rammus really good jungler, but you see that they have some pretty decent peel. Xayah, she has her root. Nami has her bubble and tidal wave on there. Veigar with his cage can't really get around it. Now Zach, that's even more peel on the side of the Firebirds. So we're really gonna have to see how that's gonna go forward. Now Darius again, that's gonna be more peel. Darius into Jace. I'm not super familiar with the top lane matchup on that side. I feel like it could go either way. Darius, if he is able to get onto Jace, he kind of just deletes him. Jace, whether you like it or not, very squishy. He's going to be building lethality, so that's going to add on to his squishiness factor. But Jace, he does have that ranged form of his ult. He's going to be able to try and pressure that Darius out of lane in that case. Yeah,
Darius, Jace, a bit of a skill matchup. If you're able to get on top of the Jace early, it's so difficult for Jace to deal with him, especially within the first couple of levels, as he doesn't get the knockback on his E until level 3, typically, opting for extra damage with the W and Q. So we could look for a lot of early action in that top lane, as you really need that Darius to get ahead of the Jace, or else he's just going to completely poke you out. So far, how do you feel about both the drafts?
Well, so we are seeing Falcons. They do have a very dive-heavy comps. We have Corki.
Really?
We do have Leona and Rammus, which are going to be your divers. Jinx is going to have that auto range with her fish bones to try and get those rockets from very far away. She may or may not build RCF. It's very preference based on Jinx. I know some people tend to get it just for the extra range on her rockets. Some people don't. Rammus and Leona, like I was saying, very good dive potential. Jay's going to be able to poke out the Veigar and Nami and even the Xayah with his ranged Q later on into the game. Going to be doing an insane amount of damage.
Yes.
But how are you going to be able to dive that much CC? It's something that they do have a hybrid kind of comp that they are able to peel very well, but they are also able to to tower dive very good. So it's kind of that hybrid comp on the side of the Falcons that you don't really know what they're going to do. You kind of have to play around both sides.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looking on the Firebirds, you can tell definitely going to be a peel. Zach and Darius are going to be your main frontliners, obviously going in, going to be doing a lot of damage. Veigar, we have seen some builds with Veigar in the past that can make him insanely tanky, especially if you're building Fimbulwinter right now before the nerfs. It's still very strong. They don't have a whole lot of AP on that side, so we did see the Firebirds A-team mid laner. He picked up Veigar and built Force of Nature, was not able to die. It was ridiculous how little damage he took, but on this side, they don't have that much AP, so Force of Nature isn't going to be that much of a viable option if you're looking for the tankiness, but Crown might be the option with that Leona and the Rammus. Nami and Xayah on the bot lane, it's a pretty good matchup. With Xayah and Nami, you are able to kind of poke down the Jinx Leona a little bit. Leona and Jinx notoriously very immobile. So they're not able to dodge a whole lot. Nami going to be able to get bursted down very easily by that Leona Jinx combo.
Yeah, when I look at these two comps, I actually think of the Falcons being more of a poke-oriented comp. Just looking at Jinx, Corki, and Jace in particular, they're going to be looking to soften them up, maybe use Theramis as a bit more of a peel tool in team fights, and in the early game, just try to set up their laners. Leona, too, very flexible, can set up the big Jace blasts, as well as a Jinx ult, or a big Corki ult, or package even. Just a number of different ways that the Falcons can play this. I actually really like their draft here.
I think both teams were able to get a good draft, a lot of comfort picks on both sides. But so at this point, it's kind of a skill difference. You don't see a whole lot of immediate counters on both sides of the spectrum. We do see Leona into Nami. That is going to be a hard matchup for Nami to be able to win, especially if the Leona is trying to play immensely aggressive.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
you're on top of it. You're on top of it.
It was the wrong kind.
Don't even worry about it.
But we're vibing.
Yep.
So, but Xayah is gonna be able to kind of peel that Leona off as much as you can, but she can only use her E one time in the span of whatever the 5 to 7 seconds it actually is. So it's either she can get Jinx and Leona in one E, or she's gonna have to deal with one of them, and the other one still has that free range to kind of move around and start poking down your team. So if they do have enough lockdown CC to get that Jinx down and that Jace down, they should be able to come out with a pretty easy victory. But like I said, this is going to just be a skill game. Who's going to be able to play their champions better into the other team?
100%. The Zac being able to outpressure the Rammus early as far as ganks, forcing the Rammus to maybe take a little bit more time to really track the Zac. As you know, Zac can gank from pretty much any angle he wants from so far away. Using that Zac ganking potential in the top lane especially is going to be very, very important for the Firebirds here. Getting that Darius ahead, putting him in a side lane later, and just have him split his life away and start collecting those towers for the Firebirds. I think it's a very good win condition along with the Veigar getting ahead.
100%. So it's going to be a very interesting game. Like we were saying earlier, this is the first LAN game of the season for the Firebirds, and this is our inaugural season, as it stated several times. So we're going to have to see how the Firebirds are going to be able to kind of adapt. It's a very different setting from playing here at home with, our fans behind us. And it's generally pretty quiet in here. But in a LAN setting, it does get a lot louder. You have two teams that are going to be talking at the same time, which also brings up the issue, you can always listen to the other team's comms. Us being here at Carthage, we don't know what the setting is at the place where this game is being held. We don't know how far away they are, but that does bring up a serious issue is, comms are such an important part of this game. You don't know how the other team is going to be able to hear, how you're going to be able to hear the other team. Depending on how it's set up. Screen peeking is always a thing. You never know. But hopefully that's not going to be too much of an issue. Hopefully they're going to be able to adapt pretty well, and this is going to be a pretty well and even game. Everybody loves a blowout, but I would beg to differ. A close game is always much more fun, especially on our side.
Oh, yeah.
Fun games are always the close ones that, we can get up, scream, yell when something special happens. If anybody was able to catch the NECC games for Firebirds B a few weeks ago, we did see the casters on their side were going crazy for the side of the Firebirds. It was so much fun. And that's what our jobs are for. We're trying to make this game fun. We're trying to make this entertainment for us, you guys at home, and for the athletes that are going to rewatch this video at some point in the next coming weeks. So that is our entire job here.
Yep, 100%. We will now take a short minute, some odd second break for stream delay here, and we will catch you right back with some fantastic Firebirds League of Legends.
See your future on the horizon? So do we.
It's really just the greatest college experience I could have asked for.
What really drew me in was having an adventure.
I think something really unique about Carthage is that it constantly pushes you outside of your comfort zone.
At Carthage College, we will push you to dive deep, to channel your curiosity, and excel in your chosen field.
It's been like an individual journey through collaborative effort. And so overall, this has been my college experience, but so many people that I've met have been supportive along the way, and they're all looking out for you. So that's really why it feels like a family.
As you ignite your true potential and start asking the hard questions, you'll find the answers are just the beginning. That's the moment your purpose comes into view.
We are really able to get great one-on-one action with our professors. So you can't hide in your classroom. You're always actively participating.
You'll get recommended for things that you might not have ever been interested in before, and you end up realizing that that might be your passion.
Everyone here is just so nice, so welcoming. It's really easy to make friends here at Carthage. The biggest change was going from student to young business professional.
I love Carthage.
It's definitely the people.
Living on the lake is amazing.
I feel very prepared for my future.
Ended up surpassing my expectations.
Some things you just need to see for yourself. Come take a closer look at Carthage College.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Seconds until minions spawn.
All right, welcome back, and we immediately have an invade. All 5 are in the bot lane and are going to pop the Zac passive. Welcome back to League of Legends, everyone.
Very
first blood. Oh, unfortunately, does go to Leona, but that's a very good start for that bot lane. We'll see how much they'll be able to leverage that.
100%. I mean, that is probably the best case scenario for the Firebirds. You know, they did get the support having that first kill. Granted, we do see Leona going to be getting boots. That is going to be kind of annoying for the bot lane. She does have that extra movement speed, so she can, in essence, just run you down if you're caught too far close to the red side's tower. But like I said, that is the best case scenario. Getting the Jinx first blood, that is a easy longsword start, which means she gets even more damage. And that's going to be the same for Corki and Jace. Rammus and Leona were probably the best case scenarios there for getting that first blood, which is exactly what happened. So really, that's just minimizing the kind of casualties that you just had to feel there.
Yeah, absolutely. Despite it being on the support, it still can be very rough, as any extra resistances on the support usually make it very difficult to poke them down, to whittle them down. But with Leona, it's not usually an issue, just because of how high her resistances are. And you see that the opt to go with the boots start there, just to get a little bit of early roaming off. And that's going to probably be the theme of the game, is just trying to get that Leona off the map, if this is any sign.
100%. We did see a little bit of kind of trading up in the top lane. Like we were saying, that Jace does have range for him. So anytime Darius walks up to get farm, he's just going to try and poke him out the best that he can. Down in this bot lane, we do see Leona taking early bush control. That is very crucial on engaged supports. You have to try, and especially early when you don't have as much damage on your ADC, you have to try and catch the enemy off guard and try and either force a flash, use any kind of summoner spells you can to get that early advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. And now I believe that the top laner, NDX or Clyde, is going to have to be a little bit careful here. As you do know, you do get the early shove, which is nice. You can go even in farm roughly. But we know that both of those junglers are pathing topside. We could see some early fireworks in the top lane from the Rammus and Zac gang.
Yeah, you are going to see 3:15 is when that Scuttle Crab spawns on the top lane, as Veigar does get a cage down, but not really going to be able to make a whole lot of it. But you can see that both Zac and Rammus down up on that top side are going to be kind of pathing towards this Scuttle Crab. 3:15, so we do have about 5 seconds. We do see a Rammus going up onto there. Zac is going to be shortly following up here, maybe for a counter gank, but Zac just doesn't have the health for it. Very unhealthy first clear, which is actually kind of odd. Can we see a little bit of a steal going down? He's going to try it, but that's very risky, as he's just going to be able to get out. Rammus used that taunt, and now he's out. Veigar cage is going to be allowing him to stay, and he steals the Scuttle Crab, which is massive going forward.
See, now you might think it's actually big, but from a jungler's perspective, it does not matter all that much. You know that Zac isn't going to be able to gank just because of how low he is, especially if your top laner is careful. So now the Rammus just gets to go bot side and collect that Scuttle Crab with ease.
Yeah, and that is true. You know, first Scuttle Crab did get kind of nerfed in the beginning of the season. Not going to be a whole lot of gold and or experience going forward. So we haven't seen that many of, you know, the huge 2v2, 3v3s over the Scuttle Crabs as much this season as we did in the past, just because of the fact that they're just not as valuable anymore. We do see a little bit of an engage going down in the mid lane, but you can see first the Corky with first strike going to be doing so much burst damage once he starts getting that snowbally lead. Going to be doing that extra damage once first strike procs on that Veigar.
Oh yeah, as we said before, it's going to be a very tough lane for the Veigar. Already has a 10 CS lead, a little bit of an engage coming on the bot side. Get the root, nice trade, although he does get the root back onto Fyro. Maybe has something here. 2 flashes are expended. Jinx Rocket just barely finds Fyro, and this bot lane is now looking a little rough as he's going to lose a whole wave off of that. And 2 kills go to the bot lane. Not ideal for the Firebirds.
Not ideal at all. Just kind of a little bit late of a cleanse there. We did see he chose not to cleanse out. As we do see top lane, he's just going to be able to walk up and kill the Darius with phase rush. Just going to be able to walk up, get that initial combo in. Did so much poke damage earlier in the lane that it doesn't even matter. He can pretty much take a free tower shot and get that kill on the Darius, which is kind of unfortunate. As I was saying, down in that bot lane, just opted to just cleanse a little bit late. He opted not to cleanse the Leona E, which was smart, just because Leona does have that second follow-up stun, but just a little bit late on it, just able to Jinx was just able to find that last auto on the Xayah.
Yeah, and this is much more important than a lot of people may think, as Jinx going to outscale the Xayah pretty much without a doubt, and having a rough laning phase for Xayah Nami, who really want to win lane, especially for the Nami side. It's a really big advantage, and now you just get that permanent push down the bot lane, so you have priority for dragons as well. That could be a win condition that the Falcons are looking for here, just because Jinx, Leona, such a strong lane.
100%. We do see Jace on his side trying to get some vision. We do see some vision going down in the Firebirds blue side on the top side of the map, which is very important. You know, vision, communication is a huge part of this game. We do see down on the bottom side of the map that they are trying to get that dragon, first dragon, cloud dragon, not super big, you know, they'll take anything that they can get going forward, especially trying to push this early game since they do scale about as well as the Firebirds do, if not a little bit better with that Jinx AD carry. So getting that first dragon is going to continue to put that gold lead in their advantage. They are about 1,400 up onto the Firebirds, which is very big, but we do see what we were talking about earlier. Phase Rush is going to be able to just completely out-trade that top lane, and look at that damage. Jace taking little to zero damage, while Darius, you know, he's back to quarter health. That's going to be super hard for him to be able to deal with going forward if Zach is not able to help gank and try and at least bring this Darius back to about even.
Yeah, despite that early lead that the Jace got, this lane is still extremely volatile. Darius able to find lethal on basically any champion in the game in the top lane once level 6 onward. So the Jace got to be real careful going forward. As you see, he's also got about even CS. It's got to get a little bit more of a lead if you truly want to take this Darius out of the game and out of his laning phase pressure.
100%. We do see that early game vision from that Jace finding the Zac on Scuttle, which means he's going to be way safer going into ganks. You know, Zac is one of the junglers in the game that can pretty much get a gank from any angle. Him, Kayn especially, are going to be able to kind of come at unpredictable angles at any lane and be able to try and catch you off guard. If you can find, as we're talking about in this top lane, we are going to be able to find Zac going to be able to try and gank up, not going to be able to land that E on that Q, but there it is. There's that level 6 Darius. If you get the stacks of your passive, get good bleed, you are going to be able to just clearly roll over the Jace going forward.
Oh yeah, it's great gank by a Posse guy in the jungle, just knowing that you need to get that Darius ahead, and he did it. He did a great job. Very effective gank. I believe also burning the Jace's flash going to be really valuable for that Darius going forward, as it's going to be so much harder for the Jace to kite him out.
And, you know, that was a great play from Podsy guy on his side. He did realize that they do have vision in that bush. While he didn't clear it, he went towards the Scuttle, and you saw the Jace back off on his side of the map, which is a clear indication that they have vision somewhere. So what he ended up doing, he went around the vision on the top side, used the blast cone, and then was able to avoid the Jace's detection and was able to get that free, easy gank.
Yeah, very big for the Firebirds, getting an extra kill once again. But now the Falcons pick up a second objective. Uh-oh. Looks like Jace is caught again, but you have 4 topside. Nothing much will happen with this. And now it seems like the Zac is going to have to find success elsewhere. might even look to steal, although it's extremely risky at this stage of the game. Getting a second objective for a comp that scales as well as the Falcons do is going to be very big, as it looks like the Darius just overstepped a little bit too far, getting another kill on the Jace. Big blunder there. It's going to be even more tough now, losing an extra wave almost of minions and giving the kill to the monster in the top lane that is Jace. They're gonna have to find a way back in this game.
Yeah, 100%. We do see finally they are doing some kind of aggression on this Jinx. Leona has been top for practically 30, 45, almost a minute up on that top lane, and they weren't able to do anything besides shove the wave. That is going to be kind of a blunder on the side of the Firebirds. You need to at least try and get something, but you do see that Zach is just going to be able to get chunked by the Jace. He is 2-1. Jace does already have that serrated Dirk, so he's going to get that armor pen, which is massive going into a champion like Jace, or sorry, like Zach. Oh my goodness. And that's going to be massive, but bot lane wasn't able to take advantage of that early game roam by the Leona, even though she was on vision for so long.
Yeah, it's really, really big that they were not able to get any sort of kill on the Jinx, and the Zach might just have to look elsewhere now that the Jace is so far ahead. It's going to be so tough to get the kill, especially with how Jace is going to be poking down that top lane. I think that the win condition now that you have to start looking for as the jungler is in the bot lane, is in Fyro. With your carry, who's been fantastic all season, you need to let him do his job and let him get a nice carry game off. Ult package now coming in the mid lane, but a great counter game from the Zach. Might be able to find something. Ult comes off into the Corki, gets a kill. That's really big, allowing the Vigar to get some extra stacks and some extra gold. That's going to be really big in getting a comeback for the Firebirds, who have been down pretty much this whole game.
And that was a massive counter engage by that Zach, but something that a lot of people really overlook, the glacial augment on the Leona saved her life there. She was able to get that stun on the Zach, and then was able to just walk away because glacial augment slowed Zach and Vhagar enough to where they weren't able to land any follow-up damage or any follow-up CC that they may or may not have had, which is actually huge. Very unfortunate for the side of the Falcons that Corki was able to go down to the Vhagar. Insane scaler if he's able to continue this lead on the Corki. Only about 5 CS down, but 5 CS can vary very easily one way or another. We do see that the Falcons are going to try and go for this dragon. Zach is going to be up, but he's not going to be there in time to try and get that steal. Leona going for a very weird engage in my opinion. There was no follow-up on there, but now the bot lane for the Firebirds really have to run away for their life. Leona going to be able to get that engage onto Fyro, but he's not going to be able to find anything. The Jinx is going to have to flash out, and they're going to get a 1-for-1. Oh, but Nami was not able to try and body block that rocket. Fyro kind of dashing away from the Nami in a sense, but are they going to be able to at least get a 1-for-1? Yes, they are. Zach's going to be able to get one. He does have passive up, so it's another little bit of safety for him, but he's going to be caught out by the Rammus taunt, and Nami's not going to be really able to do anything. He might be able to still get out if Jinx cannot land one more auto on the Zach, and there is that last auto. Nami's going to go down because of that Jinx passive, and here comes a very late engage by the Vhagar. He's coming in late to the party. Is he going to be able to get one? No, he's not. And Corki's not going to be able to get over the wall. I don't know what I'm looking at. There's so many misplays in one play. I don't even know what I'm looking at. Rammus is able to walk out. Jinx is able to leave 4-0. And Vhagar's just going to walk by because Corki can't do anything. Going to get poked down by one more rocket. And now Fyro's back up.
Wow.
I am the same way with you. I don't know what I was just looking at.
That was a very, very rough fight there for the Firebirds. Maybe just getting a little bit too greedy for that engage. Just knowing you have the Xayah ult and should be able to back off, especially with Fyro flashing that rocket, just so unfortunate. And then the Zac engage coming so late and just ending up giving another kill onto the Jinx. Just a lapse of judgment there, thinking that you might be able to get one, but just ending up harming the team more.
100%. You know, they were super ahead. Now the Jinx is 4-0 going into that. The passive was really able to get her a whole lot of damage going in. Wow. And now we look at even Darius with Hullbreaker. The lethality on the Jace just doesn't care. He's 2-1. Just chunked the Darius for 3/4 of his HP. Down in the bot lane, another engage. Fyro's not going to be able to live. He is just stepping too far. A kill going on the top lane, and the Jace not even going going to be able to get him. Zach might try to follow up, but I don't think that he's going to have enough damage. And that's more gold and more kills on the side of the Falcons, and it's just not looking good. Misplay after misplay after misplay on the side of the Firebirds, and it's just not looking pretty.
No, absolutely. It is. They got to find some way to reverse this momentum, because now after almost 4 straight kills and only 1 response, the Firebirds are going to need to change the pace of this game. Find a way to slow down this early aggression out of the Falcons. Despite the fact that it looks like this Jace is going to get the first tower. Ooh, Engage now coming in from the Zach. Might be able to find something as he's under tower. Ult in, and oh god, the shield through the Eclipse though, and he just runs away with the phase rush. Somehow ends up getting the kill. Honestly, I don't even know how he popped him there.
You know, turrets in this game can be very, very temperamental. And when I'm playing the game, if I think that they're under tower, the tower says, no, they're not under tower. They're 2 pixels out. But in that case, I honestly don't know how he got the kill. We say Veigar going in onto the Corki. It's going to be doing a boatload of damage with Everfrost. Going to be able to land Qs very easy. We do see a Root not going to be able to get anything out from there on the Xayah. But you look at that. He's even in CS, despite being 0-3 down on the Xayah, he's just amazing at farming. But the thing is, Jinx being 4-0, CS does not matter. You know, we all know a kill is about 15 CS worth of gold. 20 CS worth of gold, sorry.
Oh,
we are
wow.
going to see, and there is the windpipe button from the Veigar. He just gets
Veigar.
1 shot. You have the Everfrost, which is up on such a short cooldown. Along with the cage, you pretty much have a guaranteed kill on that Corki anytime you land a cage.
Yeah, but now we found the point in the game where the Veigar has pretty much eclipsed the Corki as far as damage. He's 2 kills up. He's a 7 farm up now. Probably will get more. It's going to be very big. And he finds another Engage on the top side. Probably going to find a Jace with how much damage he has. Although the Jace is training back very well, and with phase rush, he's able to kite away. That was super, super well played by the Jace.
Oh my god!
Flash ult, decimate in the top lane. Fantastic play by NDXR Clyde to find a kill where we thought there wasn't one.
Wow, and we know that this kid is great on Darius. He had a pentakill earlier in the season, but wow, putting Darius mechanics, I never thought I would ever say that. Darius mechanics up to work, getting a Q flash perfectly, getting it in that outside hitbox, being able to catch that slow, and then he just ults right away and is able to get that kill. But we do see a package going down and on the bot side. Fire going to be able to back off, but Jinx still does have Rocket, going to be able to miss. Ram is going to be tower diving the Nami, but you're tower diving a Nami there. What are you doing? It's going to be a 2 for 1 going on here. Is he going to be able to get another kill onto the Rammus? He's going to walk back in. Policy guy's going to be getting another cleanup on kill on the Rammus. Leona's going to try and stay a little bit too long, but now Veigar joins the party. Leona's going to have to use her flash, but she's going to get out, and that's going to be ending up on a 2 for 2, which is actually very worth. You do have a lot of summoners going down on the side for the oh my god, what is Leona doing? You can't dash through a Veigar cage, Leona. You gotta learn that. And then they just walk out because of Everfrost. Jace is gonna be down on bot side, was able to use or to just walk down there, but you are going to see that there is going to be another Engage. He just does so much damage on the side for Jace, and he's just going to be able to walk away. Corki and Jace poke is going to be massive. Veigar is going to be forced to get out, and that is 3 straight dragons for the Falcons.
Now, we saw a play that was pretty much just what the doctor ordered, just exactly what the Firebirds need to start getting back in this game, but then they just stay a little bit too long. We've seen this all game, just overstaying by a hair almost, and the Falcons, fantastic, just jumping on that immediately, finding that poke, finding that damage with the Leona, and immediately capitalize.
100%, but we do see that, look at all of the vision down on the bot side, all around the Dragon Pit. The Falcons just do have a lot of vision of the Firebirds jungle, but going forward into the dragon, that's 3 dragons now for the Falcons. We're looking at Mountain Soul going forward, which for Rammus and Leona is going to be massive. It's practically going to make them unkillable in going into the late game. Just going to be doing so much damage once Rammus is able to get Thornmail. We're gonna see a lot of self-damage going in from the Xayah as well. So how are they gonna be able to come back? Are they gonna be able to try and contest for future dragons later? Rift Herald's now spawning in. You do have, it's gonna be a 4-on-4 coming in for the Falcons, and the Firebirds gonna maybe try and contest this Rift Herald.
Yeah, it's really what they need at this point. They have to, going back to what you said earlier, they have to contest these dragons. On a comp like this, you need them to not have Mountain Soul, because then your all-ins are just so much less effective. If you think about that flash Q, fantastic play by the Darius and DXR Clyde, that would not have happened if you had Soul. That extra bit of damage, that extra shield that you get might just be game-winning, just crushing for the Firebirds. they need to start looking for these advantages, but at the same time, they got to be cautious, because if they overstep their bounds a little bit with these heralds, even just pushing waves at this point, it could be catastrophic.
100%. I mean, you have Jinx Leona in that bot side is so much farther ahead than the Firebirds bot side. Really, they can permanently engage on this bot lane, and you know, Leona is just going to be able to stick on them so easily. They can't do anything. You see, Pyro is in a super bad place. Leona has amazing tower dive potential, especially early, as Jinx takes that early that early tower. But we are going to see, is Rammus going to be able to die? No, he flashes out. But just look at Zach. He's staying a little bit too long. They are doing the Rift Herald, and he's still trying to chase down that Rammus. Now, who's going to be able to win the Battle of the Smites? Both junglers have Smite up. You are going to see Corki. He has no package. Veigar's going to be able to try and get a pick down onto the Corki, but Corki flashes out. He has no ult. Very late ult onto the Rammus, but the Jace does not care. He does so much damage, but Jinx comes back, and he's just going to be able to just come over and destroy everybody. Zach is going to be able to pick up the Rift Herald, but at what cost? That's going to be his life, and that's going to be so much. But is Pyro going to be able to clean up?
Wow.
He's going to get 2. He's going to get 3.
Wow.
And who's going to be able to survive? Leona's going to be there, but she doesn't have damage right now. They got to be careful with this, as Leona somehow gets back onto the Xayah, as Xayah still got hit by that E, but Xayah can just walk away. Leona does not have the mobility for that. She's just going to get kited out, and she's that is an ace for the Firebirds, as Fyro comes over, gets a bunch of kills there. That's 4 kills. He's now 6-4, way ahead of this Jinx, and now we're gonna see how this transitions into the late game. That was such a fiesta of a fight. I couldn't even cast it. I didn't know there were so many things going on at once, but somehow the Firebirds are able to come back, and now that gold difference is 2.6. It was much bigger before that fight, down to 2.6. Got a bunch of shutdowns, especially on that Jinx. That's going to turn the tides of this game.
Yeah, down to actually 1.5 now, and they also got Herald with that. Just Fyro making the hero play that we needed. Just incredible out of him, knowing that he had to damage so well. As we talked about, he's just so lethal on this Xayah. Precise, just like a surgeon almost going in there and cleaning house. Really big misplay there by the Falcons, not knowing that he was coming and not being able to target him.
And that was a huge, like you said, that was a huge misplay. I mean, Rammus ulted way too late. They both had Smite up. If you would have ulted way earlier, Xayah would not have been able to get there in time. That Smite probably would have been able to land for Rammus, and he would have been able to steal that Rift Herald potentially. That would have been huge. Now, Rift Herald's going to be used. They're going to obviously get this tower mid, which is going to be massive. Mid tower, huge priority. Opens up the map for so many more plays. We get a double stun, and that's a double W going down onto the Veigar. He's not going to be able to find anything, but that's very good damage onto the Leona. We see Leona W mitigating so much of that damage, but now we're going to get snowballing. Xayah, you know, that was a perfect display of just amazing mechanical skill from Fyro. You know, he's maining this champion for a long time. We know that he has that kind of mechanical skill. He knows his limits on that champion. He sees 3 enemies super low, Q's in, and then he Gale Forces for that extra execute damage, and it was just over from there. Was able to just kind of peel himself away from the Leona, who after she has E, there's no way to stick onto you, especially with no ult. We do see, we are going to see a TP coming down. This is going to be a 5v5 opportunity. They need this dragon. We are going to see Poggy Guy. He's going to try and stay on there, but Rammus is going to have ult coming in. Corki does have package. This is a bad team fight to take for the Firebirds.
Wow.
Fyro's going to be getting a huge ult here, but not enough damage. Jace is going to go down to Fyro. That is a Jinx rocket coming in. Leona's going to be able to stick on to Veigar, but not enough damage from the Leona. They're going to be able to go down. Pawsygate was going down, so they have no Smite on the side of the Firebirds. Who's going to be able to get into the pick? And that is Soul at 22 minutes for the Falcons. Darius goes down at the end, and that is a terrible trade. That was a 3-for-1, and that's Soul for the Falcons. And now they're just going to do Baron off of that. That is terrible for the side of the Firebirds.
Really rough play. Now, this was actually shown. We could have known that this would happen just based on the last fight. They barely won from a fantastic hero play by Fyro, but that poke damage from the Corki, from the Jinx, from the Jace, just chipping them down to where all of a sudden you're in just execute range with that package plus Leona Zenith Blade combo. It is unbelievable how much damage they can put out in team fights, and we just showed it here. Immediately jumping on to get that Dragon Soul, especially with that Baron. Now it is so hard
and look
for them to
damage.
play half health now by the Jace. Wow. Just trying to bait out a little bit more, but oh my goodness, that mini Q being able to get so much damage off and just finishing off Pyro. Got a little greedy with this positioning, tried to play with him a little bit too much there. Maybe trying to find some sort of outplay, but it just did not work out for him, and he got blown up.
100%. That was just a little bit too much hesitation. I saw what he was trying to do. He was trying to get he was trying to get that Jace onto the blast cone to try and blast him into the other direction as he gets over the wall, but he waited a little too much. Jace still had that Q up. It's on an insanely low cooldown late game, and yes, he didn't have that empowerment for the E, but at this point, you can't look for an engage. You can't do it on the side of the Firebirds. Like we were saying in Champ Select, that the Falcons just have much better team fight when going in. We see Darius is just going to get caught out, and it doesn't matter if he goes, he's just going to get caught out, and he's gonna get just stuck on. There's nothing that he can do. Just automatically dies. And Mountain Soul, nobody took any damage from that.
Yeah, no. And they got another kill to the Jinx. She is just massive at this point. She would probably be able to solo win team fights with enough peel. It is very, very tough. How do you think the Firebirds can actually come back? Because we just went from a 1.5 gold difference to a 5,000 gold difference within a couple of minutes.
And that's all because they got, they got Soul on that side. They got Baron. Now they're going to be pushing all of their waves. We see Jay Split pushing down on that top lane, but you can't engage. You can't win team fights with Baron buff up. You can barely win 5v5s without Baron buff up. You can't win a 4v5, especially if you're not able to get onto that 9-1 Jinx. You have to be able to stick onto her. And yes, with Gale Force, it's super hard to stick onto her, super hard to get easy kills, but somehow, some way, you need to find something that you can do. We do see that Veigar going in. We do see a counter engage onto the Zac, but that's not going to be enough. Zac's not tanky enough at the moment that he can survive going in that much. That's going to be Zac passive, but Veigar Cage might be able to save Zac here. And there it is. Jinx rockets such big range, you just can't get away from it. That is such a greedy engage from the side of the Firebirds. Like I was saying, you can't engage at this point. Rammus still has ult, so he is able to try and tower dive, and even with that, and then there's just that such amazing burst, but it doesn't matter. Leona's just gonna be able to stick on. Jinx Rocket does miss, so Fearo's life will be spared. Darius going in, he doesn't have the damage and he doesn't have the tankiness, unfortunately. Veigar ult not going down. Not able to kill the Jinx. She is on what I would assume is 10 HP. And it's just so unfortunate. Bad RNG on the side of the Firebirds. Back to back to back. Fyro getting a little bit greedy, and there's half of his health gone. And there's half of Jason's health gone. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Big roots coming out for both sides. Even though Fyro's behind, he still is very, very strong with 9 kills on any sort of AD carry. Gonna give you a ton of damage. Just talking about that last fight, as we had talked about before, that Mountain Soul can give you the difference between life or death. And EXR Clyde sure that he had the kill, but the Mountain Soul resistances and the shield just put that Jinx right out of lethal range. As you talked about, it's just going to be so difficult, especially with how weak the Zac feels. Anytime he goes in, just immediately blown up by the carries of the Falcons. Where does that Zac go at this point?
I honestly have no idea. At this point, you're kind of just trying to counter engage on trying to find a mistake that this Falcons team is going to make. You need to try and find some kind of bad engage that they're taking a 3v5 or a 4v5 opportunity with Jace not being there, that you need to try and find a way that you can bait out the Rammus ult to try and get onto that Jinx. Try and force out the Leona to use her E onto one of your frontliners and then go back in onto the Jinx when she has no more peel left in her kit. Otherwise, there's not really a whole lot you can do. If you engage, you get blown up. If you just sit there, they out-siege you. They have too many resistances, so where you can't just fight them straight up. And even if a 4v5 with a bad engage, you're still gonna lose because Jinx is now 10-1. She has IE, Phantom, and Gale Force. She's just so much farther ahead than the rest of the team. Then that is probably why the Zax just feels so weak right now. He doesn't have the health, he doesn't have the resistances, and he just can't match up to the likes of Rammus once you get into a 5v5.
Yeah, despite having the same amount of farm, essentially, same level, or even a level ahead, he just feels so much less tanky because of the power of these carries. It's, once again, it's just this poke comp out of Falcons executed so well here, knowing that they have the advantage in team fights, just trying to force anything that they can. One thing I would like to make note of is the Hullbreaker on Darius. Just not been used at all, basically. The Darius has been forced to come to every fight from here on out because they need to. If they lose these objectives, they are just sitting down and losing the game. You need to have the Darius in the fight, and with Hullbreaker, that makes him so much weaker in comparison to if he was ahead, and if he was able to be just sat in a side lane, getting towers, man, that would be big. Fight coming out here maybe for Elder, but this honestly worries me. What are they able to do? Corki has package, half health, Spyro pretty much immediately, so much damage coming through as the Carthage Firebirds are able to do essentially nothing. Super Mega Death Rocket coming out, almost killing NDXR Clyde. More chip coming on, and Spyro having to ult just barely gets out. Pausing going in, getting blown up immediately again. Vigar almost able to get the Dragon Steel, but just nothing is working for the Firebirds right now. Forced into a fight that the Falcons knew they had the advantage in. And the poke here out of the Falcons is just so oppressive at this point. It is nearly unplayable for these champs that pretty much rely on getting dove on. Like the Xayah, as we said, after wasting all, not wasting, but he had to use the ult, is now able to get easily picked off by the Jace. They might even just push for an end here with Elder and Dragon Soul. What are they really able to do? Bubble coming out, but this is just a cry for help almost. They do not have very much damage. They're pushing for the end, and they might just have it with the respawn timers. Wow, what a game.
What a game for the Falcons, just able to kind of out DPS and out poke the rest of the Firebirds team. Like we were saying earlier, that Darius with Hullbreaker, correct me if I'm wrong here, but in my personal opinion, I just don't think that Hullbreaker on Darius, especially in this kind of meta where you are forced to take Ghost on Darius because Stridebreaker, doesn't have that dash anymore. You can't get onto people. It's just not good. You have to be able, especially in instances like that, you have to be able to play with the team. And you are not going to be able to see a Darius with with teleport and ghost. You're not going to be able to see it at all. The thing that I'm going to have to look forward to is, are they going to try and run that back? Like I was saying, Darius not being able to get onto people, but buying Hullbreaker instead, if you get into that situation where you have to fight for these dragons, you have to be in these team fights, and you have Hullbreaker, it practically gives you no use. Sure, it still gives you the health, it still gives you the damage and all of that when you're still with the team, but the main reason that you're buying Hullbreaker is to split push. Yep. In this case, Ghost not working out on Darius, you really need to be able to optimize yourself for split pushing by using TP and being able to kind of still be in team fights. In this case, Darius not able to split push while also, being readily available for team fights at Dragon, which he was already behind for. Hullbreaker on Darius, I completely understand if you're ahead and you want to continue that way, that lane pressure, and your team doesn't need you in team fights. But in this kind of instance, Hullbreaker, whether that might be something that you usually build, just doesn't work out in a game like this where you need to be with your team. Honestly, I would have sold that once you saw that the bot lane was just getting super far ahead and you're not able to, make full use of it. Yeah. It's not really worth having.
It's a really tough decision. I'm going to disagree with you a bit, actually, on the Hullbreaker. I think that at that point of the game, when you're buying a Hullbreaker, it's really tough to know if you're going to be able to get that lead and get ahead enough to where you're able to push your advantage in the side lane. And I think that, honestly, that might have been their only win condition into this big poke comp. The one thing that punishes Xayah, which we just haven't seen teams do so far. I think really great drafting out of the Falcons, just to know Xayah, with her ult, able to give herself immunity, is kind of dependent almost on the other team running into her. And with a comp like the Falcons had with the Corki, with the Jinx, with that Jace, it's very tough for her to play. But once again, I do believe that the Darius, at that point, if he was able to find that extra advantage in the top lane that he needed, that split push would have been invaluable to the team. But he just wasn't able to find that.
It just wasn't able to use it to its full advantage, which is kind of unfortunate going in. Could have been something that might have been able to change the game. But unfortunately, just wasn't able to make it happen. Yep. But, there's always game 2, best 2 out of 3. That's why we love to see it. So hopefully next game, the Firebirds are going to be able to come back. But maybe with a better team comp, maybe with a better draft. We're going to have to see if they're going to be able to draft it a little bit better. But in the meantime, we are going to be taking a short break to just try and get into the next game, set up stream delay, and get into the draft. But we will see you in a few minutes when we are able to get into that. Alrighty, and back into game 2 for another game between the Falcons and the Firebirds, instantly going into the pick ban phase. Firebirds going to be on the red side of the map this time, and the Falcons going to be on the blue side of the map. And as we get into pick bans, we see an insta-lock Morgana ban. They just don't like.
Yeah, I can't blame him, honestly, after watching what Pac did in the game against Baker University, I believe. Just so dominant. Kali ban coming out once again. This is probably just going to be very similar. A lot of the same stuff. I assume the Falcons are going to ban pretty much the exact same first 3, actually, just because of how well that game went for them. How do you think the Firebirds are going to try to turn it around this time?
Honestly, I think that they're going to try, and I anticipate the fact that they're going to try and be able to play around the poke. Play around the poke like they just weren't able to do last game. They were just getting poked out of Dragon Pit, getting poked out of all of these important objectives. In lane, they were getting poked out, and so the jungler couldn't be able to find a gank. Anytime they would try and find a gank, it just wasn't a good time, and they were either getting 1-for-1 or whatever the opportunity might have been. But they just weren't taking good trades. They weren't able to get anything in. Looking at the same bans as last game with that Akali, Nautilus, and Leona on the side of the fire.
Oh,
sorry.
You're on top of it today. Leona ban coming up on the Firebirds. I actually love this here. Just making sure they don't have all that lockdown CC. Really good adaptation. And of course, Jinx first picked. Not much to say about it. So effective last game. We'll see what the Firebirds choose to do into it to try to neutralize it in lane maybe more, or maybe pick something that scales equally with it. Like maybe an Aphelios, maybe something like an Ezreal even.
Well, so we do see that the Leona is banned instead of the Jinx. Now, this could be for a few separate picks, as we do see a Seraphine pick on the side of the Firebirds. This could be for a few different reasons. You know, Leona's going to immediately counter all kind of enchanter supports that Pac plays. You know, Lux, Seraphine, Morgana, but in this case, you know, it's banned. So there is a kind of aspect of get off of me in that case, because, you know, Firo was, you know, reliant on taking cleanse into that lane, was reliant on using her Zaya's ult anytime anything would be able to, anytime Leona was able to get on top of her. So it's now the fact that Ezreal is going to be picked, which most likely means that Firo is not in that bot lane. They kind of just want to get Leona out of the question. A lot of playmaking ability, especially with Glacial Augment. If she lands one stun, everybody else is super slowed around.
Yep, very early Poppy pick. I mean, this is being hovered right now, but assuming it is picking up, there it is. Very early Poppy pick. It can be flexed both top and jungle, although it is most likely jungle from what I've seen on the op.gg. Little scouting. Got on top of it today. But yeah, once again, kind of early Poppy jungle, as it doesn't actually knock up Ezreal, as it's a blink and not a dash. So maybe thinking that interaction will work a little bit differently. But so far, kind of weird that you'd go for Poppy into Seraphine Ezreal. Show your hand that early. Another kind of weird pick, Sylas. Although you do know you have the Seraphine ultimate, which is really nice. You have no clue what kind of jungle you're going into, or sorry, what mid you're going into. And yeah, just really strange on the Falcons so far, honestly.
Yeah, so we do have to look at that the rosters have changed a little bit. We are going to see that Firo is going to most likely be moved up into the top lane as Pagarian and J-Fighter get subbed in for Pawsy Guy and oh my goodness, wow, NDXR client.
Nice,
Sorry, nice. I'm having like a huge mental break today. So those two are going to be swapped out. So most likely Firo is going to be up in that top lane, which, looking at his previous, you know, match history and stuff like that, Riven is going to be a pretty high priority pick for him. Very comfortable on Riven, very high skill champion too, very easily able to carry on a champion like that. As they no ban,
Corki.
I believe it's going to be a Corki ban that was hovered, most likely going to be communicated between the teams and us in a few seconds here, as we do see that there. For the Falcons side, they are keeping the same bans. They have banned that Ornn and the Fiddlesticks, Zeri, Morgana. Those were the same 3 that they did. Ornn's coming out again. Nocturne's going to be picked into the jungle. Pigarian very comfortable on the Nocturne as the Fiddlesticks is getting banned out. Seraphine, especially for the Sylas pick in the mid lane, Seraphine and Nocturne, great ults for Sylas to take. You know, as we know, Sylas is very good at kind of jumping on top of people. Nocturne ult's going to make that a piece of cake. Seraphine ult, though, that is more of a playmaking ult. If you're trying to get some get a play around objectives or whatever it may be, as we see a Kale ban, so that's a complete same 5 bans that the Falcon had last game. Sylas already having 2 out of the 3 ults, very good. 2 more picks left. We're going to see if that's going to be any better for him. Poppy, though, as you said earlier, very early pick. From my understanding, that doesn't matter against Nocturnal.
I believe it's unstoppable.
That's what I believe.
Yeah.
So,
and even if it isn't, he would have a spell shield that would be able to cleanse that first effect going in. So,
and now we see a Victor in the mid lane,
also like that.
Notoriously immobile. So Poppy's practically her W, which for anybody who doesn't know, pretty much stops dashes or anything like that inside a certain radius around her. So in essence, that makes that entire essence of her kit completely useless. There's nobody on their team. Ezreal has a blink, so it doesn't even count as a dash. That just isn't going to be able to be utilized. They are going to see another Jace top. So who is the top laner that the Firebirds are going to try and pick to counter the Jace? Like we were saying, probably going to be Riven.
Probably.
But
especially with the Kale ban. Ooh, Malzahar.
Malzahar, the notorious anti-carry.
We love games with Malzahar. That ultimate just immediately being able to lock people down. It can be very hard to play, especially with the Ezreal having such mobility, and Malzahar being able to click R and just freeze him in place for 2.5, 3 seconds. It's going to be really tough. Ooh, I love this Gnar pick. Now, generally, in higher levels, Jace into Gnar is considered a counter pick. Jace is considered winning. But for Fyro in particular, and at this level, it really is, once again, skill matchup. Something you're looking for the Gnar to get ahead. You want the Nocturne going top as much as possible. You want that Gnar ahead so he can team fight with the Victor, with the Seraphine. And that kind of stops the Sylas from having another good ult. Because Gnar, actually no, because it would actually still count. So he would have another decent ult. But it's really tough to say. Sylas also does pretty well into Victor, which is a little bit worrying. They could look to just play around that mid side, use that winning matchup to leverage a roam across the rest of the map, have the Sylas go top lane, bottom lane, accrue some different advantages. But just so far, I really like that matchup.
I actually really do as well. I do have a few little things that I would like to add about this champion select. It is a little...
Wait, who's the support? Is it Malzahar or Sylas?
Oh, probably Malzahar, looking at it.
That's okay.
It might be a Malzahar support. I do have to look, we would have to look back at the champ select just to see who's going in. We will see what it is going to be in a few seconds here.
Yeah.
But on the side of the Firebirds, we do have to see who's going to be the tank if Gnar is not in Mega Gnar.
That's true.
They have no frontline at all. That is very scary, as Poppy will be a frontliner. Whether her W will be useless or not, she will be the frontliner. So Firo on Gnar, I personally have very little experience seeing him on Gnar.
Yep, it's one of his top laners for sure.
We can see that being turned into a skill matchup. And in this case, he will most likely be able to maybe get a little bit more of a carry because he's more tanky than Isaiah would. So he might be able to do a little bit more with any kind of lead that he gets. Now, here's where we're going to see who the mid laner is. Is it going to be Sylas support or is it going to be a Malzahar support? I assume it's going to be a Malzahar support.
Really? Okay, the
I was going to say we're seeing a little bit of trollage here.
Okay, Malzahar mid. So it's Sylas support.
Sylas support.
Now, as a connoisseur of off-meta supports.
Okay, so this is for anybody who doesn't know, this is my cup of tea. Off-meta supports are my thing. As a connoisseur of somebody who played Sylas support a week ago and I mained it for a good 2 days.
2 days.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's really good, especially on a pick, maybe not into an Ezreal. A lot of off-meta supports are terrible into something like an Ezreal who has very high mobility and a blink that you can't stop. As a support player as well, very invigorating to see something as an Ezreal into an off-meta support. And any support in general. Blitzcrank completely countered by Ezreal if you're not able to, if you're, just blind hooking. But Jinx into Sylas is very weird for me. Sylas is really going to be going in early levels, especially if you're going to be taking the Spell Thieves kind of way to do it to get that extra AP. Jinx just doesn't have the follow-up damage. She doesn't have the follow-up CC either unless the enemy is playing up to you, which is a Seraphine Ezreal. So they have a very big range here.
Yeah.
So picking a Sylas into a Seraphine is very odd for me. Like we did say, though, the Malzahar and the Sylas can swap lanes if they decide that they don't like this later on. But they have to do that at the start of the game. Because if they don't do it at the start of the game and Sylas decides to buy Spell Thieves or Relic Shield, he can't do anything about it. He can't sell it because then Malzahar has to buy a support item and then you have to start the gold quest over again. On the other side of the spectrum, it should be a fairly straightforward lane. Sylas is going to be able to kind of get outpoked by the Seraphine and the Ezreal, and if Sylas isn't able to get onto you, he can't do any damage, at least very negligible damage to you. If I were Sylas here, I would have probably wanted something more aggressive, like a Lucian. Sylas Lucian is very disgusting. Sylas can kind of just jump on you, Lucian can burst you, and they both burst you at the same time and you're dead. But, looking at both sides, I personally would like to say that the Firebirds have a much better scaling comp than the Falcons. Much better might be a stretch because Malzahar and Jinx, but Poppy can get tanky, but after, her early game presence by doing a bunch of damage because she's a tank, she doesn't really have much else. Malzahar, he's always going to have his ultimate. That's going to be able to shut down whoever carries on their side. But Sylas is not going to be able to scale as much. Jace, hopefully they learned from last time that Jace will be able to just chunk everybody. But like I was saying, not enough frontline if Minar is not Megaform. But otherwise, how are you feeling about this champ select?
I would actually give draft advantage to the Firebirds here. Just a much easier to play comp. A lot of pressure on that Sylas to do something in lane. But yeah, it just seems like a much easier to play composition, especially with the Nocturne and the Victor, who's just able to farm, and Nocturne able to pick up those easy kills with his ultimate.
100%. And so with that and this exciting champion select that we did just see, we are going to get back into a game in about a minute or two. For now, we will take a quick commercial break and then we will get back to you with game number 2.
See your future on the horizon? So do we.
It's really just the greatest college experience I could have asked for.
What really drew me in was having an adventure.
I think something really unique about Carthage is that it constantly pushes you outside of your comfort zone.
At Carthage College, we will push you to dive deep, to channel your curiosity and excel in your chosen field.
It's been like an individual journey through collaborative effort. And so overall, this has been my college experience, but so many people that I've met have been supportive along the way, and they're all looking out for you. So that's really why it feels like a family.
As you ignite your true potential and start asking the hard questions, you'll find the answers are just the beginning. That's the moment your purpose comes into view.
We are really able to get great one-on-one action with our professors. So you can't hide in your classroom. You're always actively participating.
You'll get recommended for things that you might not have ever been interested in before, and you end up realizing that that might be your passion.
Everyone here is just so nice, so welcoming. It's really easy to make friends here at Carthage. The biggest change was going from student to young business professional.
I love Carthage.
It's definitely the people.
Living on the lake is amazing.
I feel very prepared for my future.
Ended up surpassing my expectations.
Some things you just need to see for yourself. Come take a closer look at Carthage College.
And welcome back into game 2, starting a little bit early here, going into Falcons Firebirds part 2. We do see a 5-stack on the side of the Firebirds. They did learn from last game that the Falcons didn't invade. Does not look like, in this case, they are going to try it. They don't have very much follow-up CC in this case. They really only have Silas stun and the Poppy knockback into only a wall, though. Otherwise, the knockback just turns into a slow. So, in your opinion, early game, what are we looking at? What is going to be the win con going into this early game?
3 words: Poppy ganks top. I think that the ability of the Poppy to lock down that Gnar early game, along with the burst damage of Jace, who can just kind of have his way with the lane to some extent up until a certain level, I think it's going to be really important for them to get that top side ahead and get that poke going. Because the Victor matchup is very tough for the Malzahar, and I think that the bot lane should be stable for the Firebirds as long as they don't fall into any sort of bait or obvious traps.
100%. My kind of attention span is going to be on this bot lane. I want to see, we were kind of talking about it a little bit off camera, the Silas into Seraphine. We both agree that the Silas should not be able to win if the Seraphine plays safe enough and be able to poke him out. But we are going to see an early push on the side from the Falcons, and there it is. So he did take spell thief, so he's going to start Q, go into E next, just to try and get that poke. Because he's playing spell thieves, he has to go in. He has to play up, which gives the Seraphine an opportunity to be able to just Q. We are going to see Jace taking phase rush again into the Gnar, which may or may not be even a little bit more questionable, because the Gnar doesn't really have to stick onto him to do damage. So I think first strike probably would have been a better option here, but hey, we're already in game, can't do anything about it. So now we do see he's taking E next. He does miss the stun onto the Seraphine, which costs him a little bit of his health bar. But that's going to be the main thing that we're going to have to see in the bot lane. Is he's going to try and get on top of just to try and get the spell thief stacks, but he does a lot of damage. Silas, early game damage. I have learned through my adventures of off-meta supports, anybody that isn't a support has a ridiculous amount of base damage. So even with a support item, he will one-shot you. We do see a top lane, but Gnar is going to be able to jump out, and he can't do anything. He waits for the Poppy W to get away, and he does just flash out, which is fantastic. So it does kind of stink that Firo does have to use his flash this early into the game, but that doesn't give the Jace that extra kind of kill that he had last game. We are going to see a little bit of an engage, so a little bit interesting of a play here. Poppy's just going to be able to walk out because we don't have a mid lane priority here on the side of the Firebirds. Can't really walk up as the Poppy is just too fast. But I'm really actually excited to see this bot lane. We are going to see Silas going in, but that's what I was saying earlier. Ezreal is just going to be able to walk away. Firo is going to be able to chunk him down because it's Gnar. This isn't Darius. You can't take phase rush because Gnar can just walk at you.
Yeah, really big. See, this is Gnar's bread and butter here. Just getting a big burst of damage onto him, but then being able to trade back so much damage. As Root comes down now, the Chompers are able to stop the advance, get a little bit of damage. So for that bot lane, nothing much going on. Pretty good for the Firebirds, as you really need some sort of early advantage. I was a little bit curious at the start of the game. I saw Poppy starting topside, thinking she might path down, but I think it was really smart to do that 3 camp into the top gank. I think that's really what you need to do. Getting the Gnar flash was really massive for what I believe to be their game plan going forward, which is gank top.
And that's something that they might have tried to fool the Firebirds with. You know, usually if you start topside, you're either going to 3 or 5 camp down, maybe even full clear on Poppy. From my understanding, you don't really full clear on Poppy, but they would probably make their way down. Now, with that kind of surprise gank, you got that flash out of Firo, which is going to be a big thing that, you know, in 2 minutes or so, when Poppy does reset and make her way back topside to grab her Wolves and Gromp when they're up, they're going to be able to gank topside, and if she can get there fast enough, try and get Gnar out of his little hop, and then maybe even get a kill.
Yep, a flash, E plus W for the Poppy is going to be the name of the game, because if Gnar jumps out early enough, they're just not going to be able to engage on him. Which is the one downside of the Poppy W, the ring that you will see pop up around her, is that it only knocks up, if they jump away or use a dash, it'll only knock up enemies within that ring. So they won't be able to really get much unless the Poppy gets right on top of Firo the Gnar.
100%. So we do see that first drag is again going to be Cloud Drake. Not going to be super helpful for early game. It's going to come back way later. But, you know, looking at, you know, health bars and gold, everything is pretty even. Top lane is just going to be able to trade back as he misses the empowered Q, and Nargis is able to get a grasp stack and kind of just walk away. And there's that burst of damage. Poppy is not going to be able to get there in time though, so that burst of damage is kind of just getting ready for another Poppy gank up top. But we do see Nocturne is also making his way up top, so hopefully by the time another gank from Poppy goes up towards this Gnar, Nocturne may or may not have ult to try and counter engage onto the Poppy and maybe try and get a 1-for-1, if not a 1-for-0.
Yeah, it's a little rough so far. The Nocturne, okay, engage coming through, but he's almost got Mega Gnar. He might actually be able to kill if he sticks on, but no, the Jace thinks better of it, knowing that he's about to get Mega Gnar, get that extra burst of health, a ton of extra damage. He needs to back off or else he will be solo killed. Back to what I was saying before, it's a little rough for this Nocturne so far. It hasn't had a super efficient clearing. Generally on Nocturne, you want to hit 6 as fast as possible. Full clear, scuttle, get as much as you can done. But now it looks like he might be caught out, forced to flash. A little bit of a weird flash. He had the spell shield. Seemed a little early there.
It's a little, that was definitely a panic flash. You know, you looked at it, he flashed and then he spell shielded, which, you know, Malzahar, he did have 6, which is a good thing, but you still had spell shield. If you would have spell shielded, you know, Silas stun, he might have been able to do something, but just not able to get anywhere. That is going to be first dragon again for the Falcons. Hopefully the Firebirds are able to kind of come back and try and not create a repeat of last game.
Yeah.
But so going back to that fight that we saw a little while ago up top, you did see that the Jace does know what he's doing into Gnar. He tried to E him back into the tower, just wasn't able to do it, missed it by a few pixels there. But still not a whole lot going. What you want to do, especially as Gnar into this case, is just try and stay even, if not try and get a little bit ahead in farm, which from what I'm seeing, our scoreboard is a little glitched, so it doesn't actually. No CS, it doesn't show the CS numbers, which is kind of unfortunate. But hopefully, that's something that we can fix in a few minutes. But going forward, we do still see the gold lead. So the Falcons do have that 200 gold lead just because of the dragon, which shows that everything else is actually kind of even. We do see a little bit of an engage going top lane, but not a whole lot coming of it, as Gnar just comes back into his regular self, comes out of Mega Gnar, not really going to be able to make a whole lot. Now, bot lane's going to be pushed up. We do see the Silas trying to get a little bit of a roam. A little bit odd. He is not 6 yet.
Rift Herald, though. They're looking for early Rift Herald play. As you see, they already have the vision down. Might look to get this Gnar caught out. You do have the Poppy there, so it's really dangerous for me staying, especially since mid has first move. He's looking to get another engage. W's early, and wow, really good counter engage, but nothing comes of it as they both instantly get blown up. Really rough ult there by the Nocturne. You probably should have just known that there were 4 top side. You saw all of them move. Really unfortunate for Fire to get caught out there.
And it was a little bit late of an ultimate. In that case, you know, Nocturne has the ability to use his ult in 2 ways, either as a peel tool for your teammates or as kind of an engage tool, as he obviously just used there. We did see the power of Silas there, absolutely being able to lock down the Gnar, and then with his passive was just pretty much able to help kind of clean up the Nocturne as well, as the rest of the team kind of bursted him down. Now, we are going to see another attempted engage as the Silas, but like I said, Ezreal just such a bad matchup for you to try and pick Silas support into, because you can't really get on top of it.
Yep.
But like we were saying, back to that fight, yeah, Nocturne just didn't really play that fight as well as he could have. And that is what we were talking about. Yep. And that goes into the stun, and Seraphine is dead. If the Silas can get onto the Seraphine, steal those good ults, which, you know, you have pretty much 3 great ults on that team, if not 4 if you really want the global efficiency of the Ezreal if you take it before team fights. You know, Gnar, you get that super big tankiness buff and able to do
it's just the knockback.
Oh, it's just the
stun,
knockback?
yeah.
Okay. Nocturne, you know, with the nearsightedness, like I was saying, peel and engage for you. And then Seraphine, just like what he used on there, another big engage tool that he can lock down and E onto that Seraphine. We do see a knockback going in, and then there is a Gnar ult, and it goes into the wall, but he's not going to be able to get anything out of it. And there it is. He flashes out, and he gets the kill onto the Jace. That was an amazing play, and he's going to be able to try and extend that lead. Unfortunately, that is the only kill for the Firebird so far, but it is a very still low kill game. It's 3-1 at, you know, 10 minutes, which some people might argue, say, hey, that is a pretty low kill game. In this kind of environment, though, it is pretty low kills. Last game at around this time, there was, I think it was 7-5 or something like that. It was a little bit more. Now we do see Firo going to be able to walk out, and there's the ultimate by Malzahar, but he doesn't have any follow-up. He's not really going to be able to get a kill as Gnar is able to walk out. But you do see another engage coming down on the bot lane. Jinx are coming out, and Seraphine's going to die again. You have to be able to try and space yourself out, unfortunately, with that gank, not able to do it. Ezreal ult misses the Sylas for an easy kill there. Rift Herald's gonna go bot, and that is gonna be some tower plating for the bot lane.
This is just everything you don't want out of from Carthage, at least. Just so many kills and assists onto the Sylas. The only way to really prove that Sylas support is not good, the only way to really counter it is to not give it any income, as it all comes in top lane. Fear is also going to come through slow from the Gnar, might be able to get it really good to give the kill to the Gnar, although there's a bot dive coming right now and just instantly gets blown up. No vision, unfortunately, in that Carthage top side, or bot side, I guess. Really showing the weakness there that having that 3v1 is.
And like you were saying with income, that has to do with all off-meta supports. Any off-meta support is really going to be doing just straight damage. You don't really have any off-meta supports that are really there used for the utility. As a connoisseur of Camille support, you don't use her for the stun, as there's a gank going up top lane from the Sylas. Gnar's going to be able to pretty much just walk away. He does not have Mega Gnar. He just hesitates. He could have just walked away, not able to do anything. Sylas didn't have ulti there, and there just wasn't anything that he could have done there. Still tried to maybe go in. Maybe he thought he had Boomerang up or something. I'm just not 100% sure of that thought process. But he does end up going down, and that's just not great. 6-2. Next Dragon's going to be coming up soon. As it is, I believe that is Infernal.
It is, yes.
Dragon coming up. But yeah, like I was saying, you don't really use off-meta supports for their utility just as much as their damage. If they get income, they get items, they do more damage. That's just literally the one way that you can counter off-meta supports besides poking them out of lane. Unfortunately, the Firebirds haven't been able to poke them out of lane as much as they would have liked, but they're going to try and maybe look for something here. They don't have vision of that Poppy, who's kind of just stalking in the bushes, but nobody's going to be able to get that good rotation down as Malzahar tries to walk down here. Gnar's not going to have TP for this, so he's not able to TP to one of the towers to try and help him.
Yeah, I'm really just going to have to give the Dragon here. It's a little bit unfortunate because we don't really know what the kills, assists, or CS are, so we can't really tell you exactly where the advantage and disadvantages are. But we do know that the Sylas has a ton of gold. Of course, the blue team just getting that Dragon. Concordia playing this really well, playing to all of the advantages here.
Yeah, it's very interesting as we see another, and that is what you need to do. What that Sylas just did is try and get on top of the Ezreal before he was able to E away. Mega Gnar coming out from Pyro in the top lane, but he is not going to be able to do anything. Jace E was able to actually get the Gnar off, so he actually misses his damage out there, and he's just not really able to do anything. Top lane is pretty even for the most part, but it's just kind of hard to see who really has the advantage here. And there it goes an engage. And Jace has Eclipse. There's just nothing that you can do, and he just gets bursted down as Malzahar was going to be there for the cleanup anyway.
Yeah, that is just rough. A lot of overextension, just like we saw last game, and just Concordia, the Falcons, playing this really, really well, knowing exactly how to catch them out and where they are. Really good vision control, just having a knowledge of where to go. Wow, it predicts the E, instantly blowing up the Ezreal. Wow, fantastic play on the Sylas. A little bit of misplay from the Ezreal, but they are playing this Sylas support so well. This is certainly something they prepped into the Seraphine, knowing that that ultimate is game-changing. disaster for the Firebirds.
And that has been a theme for game 1 and 2 so far. Just misplay after misplay after misplay, unfortunately. Just haven't been able to kind of get on the same page and kind of learn from their mistakes that they've been doing. We've been looking at these games. It's just been the same mistakes over and over again. Staying too long, hesitating on abilities that could have been used. It's hard for us as casters to kind of tell what's going through their minds, but from the point of view as a spectator, it's kind of just, you know, you're seeing the same mistakes coming over and over again, and you're wondering what kind of train of thought is going into it. You know, are you just thinking the same thing, or do you understand that you're not making the correct kind of situation calls, but it's just kind of force of habit. Yeah, you know, you don't really, you know what you're doing wrong, but in the state, you know, in the heat of the moment, it doesn't really come out the way that you like. Silas stealing Victor ult, a little bit questionable, but it could be very useful, as we do see a kind of like a minor rotation from the Ezreal. He does get cut off because of the Silas can 1v1 him. He does have enough income here. So how... Just wondering, how are we, as spectators, going to look? Kind of, how are they going to continue to grow their lead?
Well, once we know what these kills, assists, and CS are, still a little bit of problem with that. Once we figure that out, we'll be able to tell you exactly where the advantages are. I'm assuming a lot of that's on the Silas. But yeah, it's not out. No, granted, we've been talking a lot bad about the Firebirds, but they're not out of this yet. There we go. Beautiful. 4 kills onto the Silas. Massive. That's what he needed to get ahead. And a pretty sizable advantage, actually, for that Jace. Early flash from Pyro, very smart, knowing that the Malzahar ult would pretty much instantly mean death for him. And as I said before, it's not over yet for the Firebirds. Very stable mid lane, despite being down a lot of CS, hasn't died yet. So perhaps can play off of that Victor scaling to find something in the mid to late game.
You do have to really pay attention to that CS. He does have Everfrost now, and that is going to most likely be a kill. And there it is. Just not body blocking the ultimate. That's the second time that we've seen that this game. And unfortunately, she did have flash for it and was maybe able to make a play. Unfortunately, just not able to get that kind of reaction time. So now we are going to see another instance of just trying to defend the tower. It's not going to end up happening. Jinx just having great siege. Seraphine kind of staying a little bit too long, and that might be her doom unless they miss every single skill shot on the planet.
Okay, Nocturne sitting on the side with ult, not sure. That really could have been a fantastic counter engage. Maybe just waited slightly too long to pull the trigger on it, and just ends up nothing happening, as also the Jace rotating down, probably for this dragon that's coming up. They have had such good objective control. It's been so hard to just play around that dragon, that bot side, like the Firebirds like to accumulate that sort of advantage for team fights later. But they've just been squeezing the life. The Falcons have just been squeezing the life out of the Firebirds in the early game, playing the map so well, and the Ezra just gets instantly killed, as we were talking about before, with that Malzahar out combo. And they might even get more, as this Victor does not have much health. Double kill for the Malzahar. More damage coming through as the Jinx gets excited. And now another route coming through. They just need to back off. There's not much happening here. They can all rotate back. A good kill, but they need to keep in mind to not overstep.
And that's exactly what Firo is trying to avoid, just picking up his little satellite that he stole. Or maybe that's a drill. I couldn't really see it. But now that's another dragon. You know, they were able to get that shutdown on the Silas, which is massive. But now with Firo finally getting his mythic here, now how are you going to be able to transition now this gold lead? He's the only person on the side of the Firebirds with kills. Everybody else, you know, the Ezreal getting kind of smacked down in the bot lane. You know, this Jinx and the Silas combo, they just weren't really ready for it. Kind of came a little unprepared. And the Gnar just going to be able to get away from the Jace at this point. I don't think that there's an instance that Jace can kind of run the Gnar down. He has too much mobility, unless he comes up with a gank from Poppy, unless Firo tries to engage and then Jace is able to counter engage. But if Jace is just trying to get onto the Gnar, in a perfect world, I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Yeah, and now we're seeing why that Jace and Gnar is such a tough matchup. I was pretty optimistic going into it, but we are now seeing why it is so strong. Just being able to trade with the Gnar in a way that a melee champion couldn't. So much burst that it almost doesn't matter, the return trade coming from the Gnar. Very difficult laning phase, but Fire's been able to make the most out of it so far. Played very well, been able to find picks where his team needs it, especially when he is the only 3 kills on the team. Maybe looking for a little something here, a little bit of a collapse. As we see, the Nocturne still has ult from before, but he's getting engaged on slowed. Everything onto Fire. He somehow gets out as they decide that they don't really want that.
You know, you do have to respect the fact that the Nocturne didn't go in there. You know, that would have been kind of a death sentence.
Yes.
You know, you didn't see the Poppy was there. Poppy wasn't on vision, but it was still 3, Malzahar being one of them. If, you know, no matter what, Malzahar, a good Malzahar will kind of just wait. And we see a Baron call going in at 20 minutes on the dot. They have no clue that this is happening. Nar's gonna hit that Scryer's Boom, maybe seeing, and now here it is.
You can try.
How are they gonna be able to try it? They could try and steal it, but Poppy is gonna be there, and she does have Smite. Firo going in here is gonna be something, and there it is. That is a early Baron call. That's 20 seconds after the spawn timer. Just kind of extending their lead. Here comes Jace. He's gonna be able to almost one-shot the Victor. Victor opting to take Luden's Echo. Not the smartest idea.
Well, they do have a lot of squishies. Keep in mind.
They do have a lot of squishies, but they also have a lot of bursts with the Jace. Malzahar.
Wow, flash ult coming through. Another ult from the Poppy. They're just going to catch this Nocturne here. Gore Drinker not going to do enough. Ult coming through, didn't even need it. They're just playing in the Firebirds jungle at this point. They know that they have the advantage, and they are pushing it. That is shown by that early Baron. Just knowing how ahead that they are, and they didn't even need the charm to come through, as the Jace just immediately one-shots with Q and Hammer Form and 2 autos. That Jace is fed.
He is fed as a Jace can really get. It is it's, you know, it could always be worse.
Absolutely.
And it could always be worse.
Yes.
You know, the Jace is not unkillable. He's still squishy. He's a squishy, you know, marksman melee hybrid, but to try and get on him, through Poppy, through Malzahar, through Silas, and through, you know, Jinx Chompers, but we don't really count that. How hard is that? That's incredibly hard. And when you're looking at this team, is Jace really the main person that you're going to go after? No, it's really going to be the Malzahar or the Jinx that you're going to be trying to go after. The Jinx will just be that DPS. Yes, the Jace is going to be that burst, but you're really not going to try and go after the Jace. He's going to be kind of like that frontliner behind Poppy. He's going to be the damage behind her, as Jinx is going to be kind of sitting in the back with her rockets poking down. In this game, at this stage of the game, you know, you're 13,000 gold down. It's really hard. You see Nocturne just overstaying. At this point in the game, your jungle is no longer your jungle.
Yeah.
You cannot walk in there, especially with little to no vision. You just can't walk up. Jace, especially, you know, in Nocturne shoes, Jace one-shots you.
Yeah.
Poppy will CC you to death. Malzahar will CC you to death. Jinx will out-DPS you. Silas will burst you down. You will get one-shot by almost everybody on their team, and there is nobody at this stage of the game that you will be able to 1v1.
Yeah.
So unless you are coming all 4 just to farm your jungle, and then you're taking away XP and gold from the rest of your team, there is no way that you're going to be able to get into your jungle. The only way for you to somewhat catch up is to maybe have one of your laners give up his weight.
Yeah, I think that the main way that you can come back, the only real way, is to play around that Gnar in the side lanes. Still very strong despite being behind. And granted, he cannot match the Jace, as the Jace will absolutely destroy him, as we can see there with the massive amount of damage. The only way is to play cross-map, know that they're in one place, and be where they aren't. Just have to find a way to get enough vision in your jungle to play the map better. They have to play pretty much immaculately, and okay, we've seen some fantastic play before, so it's not caught them out yet, but it's gonna be very difficult.
Do you see 6 towers, maybe about to be 7 towers in the side of the Falcons? Malzahar just poking him down, and here comes an engage a Jinx ult just taking down the Gnar. That was a great engage by the Gnar. Unfortunately, Silas was able to take the Gnar's ultimate and one-shot him, and there's Jinx with Gale Force, 1 rocket, taking down the Ezreal. Now, this is where we're talking that this is going to get hard, and they're just not backing off. They're still trying to attempt to defend these towers. It's a 4-for-1 in the side of the Falcons, and it is carnage. You cannot walk up now, and they are insisting on trying to defend, just you have to give up those towers. Your lives are going to be more important than those towers in the end, and that is a 24.5-minute game coming out from the side of the Falcons. Just absolute skill matchup here. It was unfortunate that the Firebirds just weren't able to come with anything, but it just snowballed out of control, and there was nothing the Firebirds can do about it in the end.
I felt very good about the Firebirds in the draft, but just seeing how they played that early game so well, just the Silas ending up completely dominating the map. Really good pick from them, honestly.
It was a really good pick, and it's something that off-meta supports are very underutilized, especially in this kind of competitive environment. Sure, pros know how to play around that kind of stuff. Picks are always picked around. Everybody's always trying something new. You know how to play around it. In this kind of ELO and in this kind of competitive environment, not a whole lot of people are kind of used to playing against off-meta supports. As I've said previously, taking off-meta supports into like a solo queue environment is very make or break. But in this kind of case where you have a lot of competitive communication and vision, you are able to make the most out of those picks, make the most out of the champion, and kind of throw the other team off guard if they're not ready for that. You can clearly see that the Firebirds bot lane was just not ready for that Silas support, was not ready for that kind of engage in pressure, especially he played it like a roaming support. He wasn't kind of just sitting in the bot lane, kind of just making picks here and there. You saw once Rift Herald was up level 5, he was over at Rift Herald. That just wasn't something that that Pac was able to do. Unfortunately, just no roaming, pretty much just sat bot all game, and that's something that is very underutilized. Roaming is such a big part as a support and as a jungle player yourself. We can both kind of say roaming together as this jungle support is so crucial in this kind of game that most likely if you catch one person in the jungle, you usually only think it's one. If a support comes out of nowhere, support comes out of nowhere. But as a little treat, it is shown that we are playing an ARAM. If people at home who don't know what ARAM is, stands for all random, all mid. It is a game mode that is put into League of Legends. One lane, 5 random champions on each side. Firebirds looking to be the blue or the red side in this case, which is technically purple. It's going to be the top side of the map. And then the Falcons are going to be the bot side of the map here.
Now, how do you feel about the drafts coming out from both of these teams?
It's a very interesting... Okay, so I'm going to go a little in-depth here. So we have a little bit of a change. So Pac is going to be taken out of this game, going to be put in for NDXR Clyde. A lot of random letters there. I need to get back on top of it. But if we're looking at the game, we have 2 really stupid characters in ARAM in this game. One being Soraka, the other one being Zeri.
Don't forget Ashe. Do not forget Ashe.
Okay, but okay. But if we're going to do that, Shyvana too.
All right, very important, the spectator delay. We will just talk through this, I think.
I definitely think we will. This is so worth talking through because you never see this. This is so new for us. We didn't know that this was happening. You guys didn't know it was happening, but it's going on anyway, and this is going to be fun. So we're going to go in depth, team by team, champion by champion. Echo in ARAM, he's all right. He can dive the backline and then ult out. Yes, big stun. Ashe, like we were saying, big stun in Summoner's Rift and in Cure, and she has a lot of poke. E is going to be massive. You can see where everybody is in bushes. Call it a day. Fantastic. Zeri, she's a stupid champ in general. Everybody hates Zeri. Playing against her, playing with her, she's really bad. She's so... Oh my god. Riot needs to delete her out of the game. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my god.
Control Alt Delete. It's terrible.
Wow.
And in ARAM, she can go from one side of the map to the other, essentially, with one E. It's ridiculous. She can go from one side of the map to the other side of the map.
Yeah, just by walking.
No, by using her... It's a bridge, man. Corky's really Corky's really good in ARAM.
Really good.
Really good. Yeah. He has a lot of poke. His package is like half the size of the lane. It's ridiculous. Cho'Gath,
also good in ARAM.
Oh my god, he's so good in ARAM, super tanky, and he gets practically, with the amount of kills that happen in ARAM, he has so many opportunities to ult and get those stacks. Now, Firebird side, Shyvana, I will let the Shyvana
All right.
experts.
As a
take this
Shyvana
one.
connoisseur, very broken champion in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
But in ARAM, I'm not quite sure because as we all know, a lot of different balance changes happening to the champions in ARAM, if I'm correct. So some damage changes being given to some champions who are maybe weaker in ARAM. The max health changes to champions who might be stronger. A lot of different changes. So I'm not really sure how Shyvana's going to work, but she has massive AoE damage, really good engage potential, and also peel for something like that Echo if he does decide to go in. Could be very interesting. Next, of course, the Camille. Camille, we got a Camille player right here for you. Maybe describe what you think is going to happen in this.
So, against popular belief, I'm a Camille support player. Doesn't play support. I don't play Camille top, which is literally the only role that she's viable in. Maybe Camille mid is. That's a challenger thing, but it's mostly Camille top. But she's so good if she can stay ahead. If she can stay ahead and she just doesn't go in and die.
Get that early lead in ARAM. Maybe get a farm lead in ARAM.
That's what I'm saying. You know, the 0.2 farm per minute. It's ridiculous. But Camille into Cho'Gath, from what I've
matchup.
Yes, I played it once on top and I've actually stomped, and I don't play Camille top. It was so fun because you do like a quarter of his health with a Q if you're ahead. It's so funny. Soraka. That's all we have to say. Next, Lux. We don't have to talk about Soraka.
Let's at least explain what she does.
Okay.
So Soraka, giant heal. Her ultimate gives a giant health boost. Not health boost, but she just heals her team a ton. Really good in ARAM since you have to stay out. You cannot recall in ARAM. So it's going to be really difficult for the other team to get anything going. But with that being said, not a ton of poke outside of the Corki. So I guess Ash too. I've changed my mind. Soraka, big player in this game. Lux, a ton of poke. Really good CC. Might be able to get those early picks to get that snowball roaming. Of course, Kayn, kind of useless in ARAM. But we'll find out if Firo is able to completely dominate the matchup like he has in the past.
And he has the good skin.
He does.
He has the good one.
Skin difference. Oh, actually, we got a couple of no skins here.
Oh. Hey, but Camille base skin is good. Shyvana,
no,
not so much. Soraka, not so much. I don't know.
I don't know what that looks like, but I'm sure it's solid.
Corki base skin, Zeri.
Oh, hits the snowball right away. Might like to go in, but decides against it smartly.
Cho'Gath level 3 against 5 people. I don't know how I feel about that one.
Oh, it could
anyway,
be a thrilling matchup. Firebirds versus Falcons.
I will have to FaceTime Mr. Firo over here for a post-game interview if he does not go Ross. Me and my fellow caster here, we have a little bit of a joke. We say blue Kayn is completely unviable. It's so bad. We don't talk about it. Red Kayn is the only Kayn. That's all it is. He has everything.
What is blue Kayn even?
What is blue Kayn? I don't know what he does. I'm kidding.
Wow, big poke already coming out for the Lux. We can see the trend already. Double root.
And the Camille.
And the extra client going in. Nothing coming of it though. Really good peel by that Echo to set up that barrier. More poke coming in for Firo. They might decide to take that snowball. Really risky. 2 snowballs now stacked up at the same. Really smartly not taking that there.
We love snowballs and ARAM. And we also have to look.
Ooh, knock up. Nothing coming. More poke. Kayn going in. Not much happening.
Goodness.
Still no first blood in an ARAM game. Both teams playing it really well.
Oh, we do have Kayn going in on, and he's Camille going in, but she's getting bursted the entire time, and that's 2-0 for the side of the Falcons. Zeri's taking the snowball under a tower.
All very low, but nothing quite coming of it. The Lux poke not quite getting the kill on the Corki, although he is very low. As we all know, Shyvana very weak without level 6. Just gonna be sitting, praying, hoping you hit it. What can we do here after that 2 early kills? What kind of advantage does that give them?
You know, I do have to, I can't stress this enough. The early kills in ARAM, while they do matter, level 6 is what we're gonna be looking on both teams. Blue side going to be having amazing ultimates. Echo, Cho'Gath, I mean, pretty much their entire team has amazing ult. But red side, Shyvana's not a champion yet.
No. Oh, snowball going in.
One snowball, 2 snowballs.
Wow, they're playing this really smart. A lot of, if anybody plays ARAM, they know. A lot of people will just take that snowball and instantly die.
It's
really
like Lee Sin.
Play.
It's like
the
Lee Sin.
Yep. If anybody needs to know, Lee Sin.
Soraka almost dying here, though.
Lee Sin's Q allows him to jump to a champion similarly to how Snowball works.
And it's rule, what, number like 5 or something of League, that if you hit a Lee Sin Q, you have to take it?
Yep. Wow, like, really enthralling match so far. Really good mechanical prowess being shown. Not to take those snowballs. I cannot emphasize enough. and
you know, Nat,
neutralizing
this
that
is not
left
silver
Bulgarian
anymore.
very low, not quite going down though, as they're playing this very safe, just hoping to hit level 6. Oh, that Soraka is
That's
well
what
within
I was
lethal.
about to point that out. She is playing very on a little bit of a risky side.
Oh, it's so side of the Falcons. Although they do get those trade kills back, Fyro picking up another. They're gonna be able to clutch it. Yes, she trades one, but the tower shot's able to take her down. Even kills now, Firebirds and Falcons.
Oh my god, the early ace. That is a 3.5 minute ace for the Firebirds. And we saw the lifesteal coming out from Bureau here. Got a bunch of aura there. And we did see a questionable Ash ult a little early, but it still hits, so I can't give her anything.
Fira overstepping a little bit, gonna get the passive proc from the Echo, might even get stunned. He just auto-ate. Really good ult, might be able to get himself saved. He does get out. Really well played by Fyro to hold his ult and know that he is safe until the last second.
100%. We do have to keep in mind Soraka does have clarity. Clarity is going to be so big on Soraka. She's going to be able to spam her ability so much more. But are we going to see any more snowballs?
So much poke.
Oh my goodness. Shivana goes in.
Big damage. They're going to heal her entire out right away. Zeri also has ult. She's running all over the place. She is running all over the Firebirds. Really nice room from the Lux, where they do trade 2-1 in Falcon's favor. Really, really impressive game so far. The Soraka almost neutralized despite all the poke that's been coming through. They've been able to land the skill shots and get that early advantage. A 1k gold lead, which likely will not matter because it's ARAM, but still big. Wow. What an exciting match. As now going in is the Camille ultimate coming through. Does not quite get the pick, but Bulgarian walking up also doesn't quite find it. Zeri is so mobile. Fyro barely getting the kill onto the Ashe, but he's in trouble.
It's a Kane
another one.
It's a Kane
so
moment.
much life on, baby. And he finally goes down to the Corki. Really, really good advantage for the Falcons.
You know, that's not going to happen. And there is a kill going on the Zeri. She did get the execute just to back. The thing that we didn't explain about ARAM, there is no backing, which is why you see so many people.
There's the execute, but does give it to Fyro. Might be a big blunder later.
That is a big counting difference. 13 seconds, I believe, is what it takes from you taking damage from the last champion to it being an execute under tower. Now, the big thing that we're going to have to look at is the health difference. Like I was just explaining, there is no recalling in ARAM. The health that you have is the health that you have. You do have these little health packs on the side of the map, on the bottom sides, but that's all you have. You don't have anything like that, which is why Soraka in this case is such a huge W for the side of the Firebirds. You aren't going to see any crazy heal from the side. You do see an engage going down with the Ashe ult. Camille's going to be able to maybe make herself out, and it's going to go in.
Firo!
Oh my god, and that's a Kane moment. He's going to be able to kind of just clean everybody up. Is he going to get a third?
House! They're begging for some support on the back end against his Kane here, but he's just running all over them. The Zeri takes an extra three now. Might even be able to get 4, but no. Clean up by NDXR Clyde. Really well played by the Kane to get in the back line there and do some damage with a 4-man knockup.
And the Kane, this is why we go Ross. Red Kane is so much better than Blue Kane. Blue Kane wouldn't have been able to do that.
True.
Would have gone in, immediately gotten one shot. In this case, he has so much lifesteal. He has so much just survivability in lane. He took this.
His package coming through. On the back end, but he does with the extra pass.
Camille's gonna die to the burn.
Fyro, so much lifesteal. Oh my, even game.
Oh my goodness, and this is what we love about ARAM. A snowball. Is she gonna take? Oh, gee!
So much health into the Ashe stun. More coming now. More on the back end though. He does trade
he doesn't
back.
get the kill on the Cho'Gath. Oh
wait, he still is at a health advantage. Although the Echo is really good in that 1v1. He knows he's there. He knows he's got it. Gets the extra passive damage as he might clean up Fyro. So much healing.
Oh, but he has the E.
He gets through the wall.
The snowball
going through.
No, he
oh my goodness, so close there.
No, Soraka! No!
NDXR Clyde doing his best to clean up. W's
The
away.
Cho'Gath is still in the bush to this day.
He might stay there for the rest of this game if they don't find him. Wow, what an exciting match.
He's still in the bush.
They may never find him.
Nobody knows.
Wow, really intelligent bush play here by the Cho'Gath, just to know that the Firebirds are focused
and
on
he's gonna execute.
What?
Wow!
So smart out of the Cho'Gath there. Really well played.
And another misplay from the Firebirds.
Wow.
Wow! In A-Ram! We knew that he was there, and Soraka, Happy Samoy just walked right
Well,
past
to be
him.
fair, we do have vision of the whole map.
We do have vision of the whole map, but he was right there.
Oh man, really well played by the Cho'Gath. Root coming through onto the Ashe. Alt also, that's big damage. It's gonna be real difficult for the Ashe to play the game now with the Rost in the game.
But don't worry, that Lux ult, it will be up in about 10 seconds
True.
because Lux ult is on like a 30-second
Very
cooldown.
funny
anyway.
alt. Very funny alt. Oh, Happy Samoy looking a little low. It's going to really stunt the amount of healing he's going to be able to do. As we may see an Echo engage, getting a gigantic stun. Not going to matter. Fire going back in. Not much coming. Ult's in. Pagarian is just going for it and unfortunately gets slain here by the Zeri. So much movement speed. It's still stacking. She still wants more. Slow coming through. More autos. Man, this Zeri is quick. But he's able to maybe get something big. Not
Oh, and there we go.
that's the wrong person, unfortunately. Gets him closer to the Zeri. Not quite able to find it. Wow, this Pyro is getting cutted out so
Oh
bad.
no! That's why we hate Derry, man.
Wow, Zeri's so strong. NDX.
Oh, Camille!
Find it, but no.
1W kills 2, and it wasn't able to get it. Unfortunately, that is why we hate Zeri. Snowball going in, not going to be able to do anything.
He's just in there. I don't know what else to say
Somehow,
there.
Happy Samoyed survives.
Wow.
Oh, Snowball misses coming from Pagarian, but he's going to go.
What a fast-paced game.
That is what I'm saying, and that's why we love ARAM. Now, Lux is going to come back up. She does have ult up, so he, in theory, could be able to one-shot that Echo from that execute health, but we are going to see. Shyvana does have ulti again. She just needs the Fury. Ashe ult going on onto the Shyvana, not going to be able to make a whole lot. The Shyvana just cleanses it off, and here comes the Lux ult. That is going to be negative HP taken from the Cho'Gath because Cho'Gath already has a bunch
That's
of...
a little too far. Echo able to take the kill with the snowball. Just pelts him there with a fastball. Unbelievable.
You know, let me tell you, getting hit by a snowball in the face does hurt,
That's
but
true.
man, that hurt my soul just a little bit more.
Wow, so much poke. Although missing several rockets there. We won't talk about it today, round.
And something just a little bit easy to see, we see this massive Poro. Who's going to feed it? And if nobody
MVP
knows...
of the game, he's sitting on it. He knows.
We
Wow,
got Poro
first
fed.
Poro.
We do see Camille just one-shotting the Corki as one does. Shyvana gonna ult in right into an Echo stun.
Ooh.
And Lux ult, that is the equivalent of a double doink. Sorry,
Field goal,
Corki
yep.
fans.
Wow, so much damage coming through by the Falcons, able to just cut out this Firebirds roster.
And
Also gets the Shyvana knockup coming
and
through
that
on two.
And that is the double doink that I was talking about. 2 skill shots from the Lux.
Snowball going through from Cho'Gath.
Here comes the lifesteal.
Is gonna pick up at least one. So much damage coming.
But will he walk out? It is Zeri. We don't know. Oh, the snowball just missing onto the Zeri.
Wow. All I can say, wow.
And the Poro did blow up. The Poro blew up, people.
Just gets blown up by NDXR Collect.
Oh, but here comes Corky's the not fun one. He's actually doing damage to the Firebirds.
Wow.
Imagine doing damage in a game like
Right.
that. Snowball barely misses the Lux, but he lands the ult anyway, does a boatload of damage, and now it is going to be a 5v4, or a 5v5, sorry, but it's in essentially 5v4. Lux doesn't have any health, Soraka's about half health, and so is the Camille.
I'm having to catch my breath here, getting a little lightheaded. This is just an action-packed game. Another snowball coming through. Wow,
Oh,
Pyro.
you're getting stunned. And here comes the Camille.
Wow.
Camille's very funny like this. She can just one-shot one buddy. But look at,
Oh my goodness.
Happy
Almost
Samoy
one
getting
shot.
one
Pyro
shot.
might look for it, but he won't.
Oh, Echo's a funny champion. Echo's a funny champion, and he just gets it.
Very anticlimactic there, so they just get another kill.
Oh, come on. You just gotta go in, Firo. Just 1v5. You're Kane. You can 1v5. And that is a triple for Echo, as that is another ace going on to this map.
Wow.
As now the Falcons
Very
get an ace
played.
there,
Very
as it is 1-1. Corky does time the execute correctly, and Echo just gets W'd. I wish that happened to me. Camille is, yeah. Love you, Camille. As gonna immediately get silenced, not able to get her full combo down off onto the Cho'Gath.
Yeah. Wow. That's all I can say, man. Wild game.
Sorry to all you Bears fans out there for that. I mean, it was a little personal, but that joke had to be made. Joke had to
We're
be
all
made.
Packers fans here, right, chat? All Packers fans. All the good team. All Packers
I'm getting a
fans.
thumbs
Packers
down
fans.
from our production crew over here. Gonna That is that the green light to make more Bears jokes?
I think so.
Okay. You guys have just sealed your fate.
Wow. And it appears our production team is just hoping that they'd be right, but it seems that they're just drawing a stun coming through. So unfortunate. Wow.
Apparently, what I'm hearing is the production team is a Lions fan, which is even worse because didn't you guys go 0-16?
Now I just feel bad. Now I just feel bad for bullying him.
I think it's a little bit even worse because the team is just so much worse, but we're not going to get into NFL because...
No, this is esports, baby.
This is esports.
Ooh, knockup coming through. It's going to be able to find lethal onto that Zeri. Giant pain.
I guess we're going to have to wait till Madden season comes out for those kind of jokes.
True. Wow. Pyro is just playing this so well here, but he's able to just get kited out by the Ash. Big slow coming through. Big damage by the Poke champions, and he might just die here. Oh my goodness. What a game. Oh man. Wow, our production team is really getting vocal here.
What I've been hearing, I have a little birdie in my ear talking about Madden. A little self-plug here. We do have a Madden team coming to esports next season. So if anybody watching is interested in playing Madden, you guys can hit up Coach Homer.
Yes, indeed.
And all of our links. Also, another thing, we have a TikTok. Follow our TikTok.
TikTok. We have every social media you can think of. Be there.
Or be square.
Yeah, be square.
Be square. And he's getting the Kane syndrome. He is 1v5ing. He dodges the Ash ult. Firo's going to come in. So much a lot of damage. But that is a lot of healing. Firo's going to get out. Soraka difference as Camille goes down. But look at Firo's health. He's at full HP. He's back at full HP.
What is this? Unbelievable ARAM.
And this is why we hate Soraka and ARAM. Health is the name of the game, and Soraka just gives you everything back.
Wow, just a cheat code here, keeping Pyro alive to the last second. And I believe that was a flash. Yes, it was. Able to get out of that stun range, as they might have just killed them.
Okay, we do get a knock up onto the Togepi. Wow. He's just gonna get CC.
And then looks to go on to J-Fighter here, picking up the kill and get back to the base to buy some more items.
I do have to say, it is very interesting. Firo did go plated steel caps instead of Merc treads or even Ionian boots of lucidity. Ionian boots are going to be a little bit more of an unpopular pick, but it allows your Q to be up in like a 3-second cooldown late game, so that it would be massive. More Qs mean more healing. More healing means more damage coming through. Merc treads also for Ash ultimate, Echo stun, Zeri slow, everything like that. Everybody.
It tries to get on this area, but body block stun is the Soraka.
The Echo
they might try to end the game right here.
Echo just won't die. He gets out. Luck's gonna do negative damage to the
a lot of damage.
And Azonia's coming out from the Echo. Does he have ult up? No, he does not. Zeri's gonna be doing damage because Zeri is Zeri. And she just has so much momentum. He flashed because of Zeri. Oh no!
What a blunder. What a misplay from the Falcons to put their in danger. Wow, really well played by Pyro again. 12, 7, and 15 is the scoreline and the carry right now.
The carry coming out, but let's look at the Soraka scoreline. 1, 6, and 18. First spot warm-ups already. There goes package, but no!
Unbelievable mobility is shown, but almost gets one shot. What is that damage? Oh my goodness.
That is the quirky scaling that we weren't able to see in round 1. And we're seeing it now in ARAM.
Wow. I have little words. There's only so much that you can say about
and there is that, oh my god, so much damage and so much CC. Camille's just gonna walk away because
Shimano goes in. Big E. Lots of damage here. Double knockup.
Oh wow. Camille is still alive.
Here, they're gonna wipe him.
Oh my goodness.
Unbelievable fighting out of the Firebirds. Fantastic team play as hold on to it's gonna be an ace. She looks to dash away, but she can't get away. Oh no! Wait, is she still there? I can't even tell. This is Zeri's.
He does have flash. He does have flash in a few seconds.
He could look for it here. Looking to get the advantage of the bush.
Oh, but he's missing his skill shots like his Yone ultimates. Oh no!
Oh no! Throwback there, but Wow, really well played by Carthage, able to bring the guild back to a 400 difference.
And that is why
comeback.
we love ARAM.
Oh yeah, the lead changes, the action.
The amount of kills, the fact that we're both out of breath and losing our voices.
I am lightheaded, let me tell you.
I don't think either of us expected to get an ARAM game in, but I sure. Hey, look how big that Cho'Gath is. That is a big boy. And he just got one shot. All right.
Oh, Camille's in, and Camille is stunned, and Camille is dead. Pagarian a little deep here, gets stunned for 1 million seconds.
Oh, no.
Coming
And it's
through
all up to the
Baraka.
Lux. She dodges everything.
Trying to get some skill shots, but the Zeri is just too quick. Q, and she's down. Zeri with another shutdown.
But she does end up getting the Zeri 4 for 1.
I
or
don't
5
know
for
how that
1,
happened,
sorry.
but here we are.
I don't know either. And they can pretty much just end the game. Cho'Gath has so much HP, he can just tower. And wow.
What a game.
Firo's going to be up in 6 seconds. Again, the 1v5 opportunity. Well, 1v4, but you know what I'm saying.
He's looking for the red cane with a little bit of damage with the Muramana. Might be able to get something.
Questionable flash.
Oh, they are all up. They're trying to get the tower, but they just can't get there. Pagarian takes them down. Ooh, barely missed the W, but it doesn't matter. Pagarian is suddenly dominating this team fight. She has scaled. Camille looking for a little bit more, not getting it the slow, just not enough with the Ash.
Camille going to be up in about 2 seconds. Here it is.
Opts to go forward, really
but he gets the ultimate. He can't ult out because Echo is not in the Camille ultimate there. Not going to be able to get there. Camille, a little questionable going under the tower for the Zeri, but hey, what do I know?
Does not matter, this is ARAM. Wow, the damage. Damage. ARAM.
ARAM, damn it.
ARAM.
Woo. Okay. Yeah, I don't like the fact that she does have Ravenous Hunter and everybody's trying to just stand around the minions.
Ravenous Hunter. Titanic Hydra, my friend.
Ravenous Hunter is not in the game anymore. Oh my god, he just got one shot.
Never mind. Oh, you said Ravenous Hydra, but you said Ravenous Hunter. I'm on the same page now. Shyvana ult coming through. Big old dragon walks back in. So much health doesn't matter. Zeri, wait, she's still alive? No, she isn't. Okay.
He said still alive, now she is.
Yep.
And the snowball coming in.
Oh, Snowball taking down J-Fighter, looking for more. The Sepraka not able to do much.
Did we see the flash juke though? Gotta give him credit for that.
It was quite clean. I'm not gonna lie. Ooh, they just ended.
They do just end the game.
Unfortunate for the Firebirds here, but a very close ARAM game, very entertaining. Wow. I did not think I'd be casting ARAM, and I also did not think it would be so difficult. I need water to keep up with this.
Too much action. ARAM, that's what we love about it. So much action. You don't know who's going to win because it's just a champion difference. We don't know who has the experience on the champions. Clearly, the side of the Falcons just had a little bit more experience. We saw those masteries in the kills. But everybody played that game really well. We didn't really see any singular person stand out as just not doing their job. Everybody did damage. Everybody was able to get a whole lot of assists and just be able to just have fun. That's exactly what the point of ARAM is.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Just having some fun. It was a couple of rough losses for Carthage, but I'm sure it was a nice, refreshing game.
And this is why we put the asterisks. They're still
undefeated. Still undefeated.
We take that.
Perfect. All right. Wow. What a game.
What a series of games. 3 games.
Oh, man.
Wow. I'm losing my voice after that. That was insane.
I needed both of these drinks to get through the game. I have nothing else to say. Wow.
I only had this one and I had an energy drink and I don't even know if that energy is even still in me.
It was all used in the ARAM match.
That's what I'm saying. First 2 matches, we use it a lot, trying to talk a whole lot, but wow, that 3rd game I was screaming even when we got aced twice and I was still screaming because there was just so much going on.
There is no Carthage bias here. We are equal opportunity hype casters.
Equal opportunists for all.
Yes, indeed.
That Zeri, though, I stand by the fact that I still think Zeri needs to be deleted from the game.
She's a little silly. But Tryndamere? I think Tryndamere is probably the bigger problem, right?
Tryndamere is not a problem.
Don't say that.
His ultimate's annoying, but if he's behind, he's behind. But if a Zeri's behind, she still scales. It's stupid. I don't like it.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree. We're loving League of Legends.
Can we agree that Yone doesn't need to be in the game?
I don't know, man.
Did they have to add another one? They had Yasuo. They did not need Yone.
I mean, it's kind of cool. His brother. You get the brother matchup.
The cinematic was cool, but they should have done what they did to Gangplank, but permanently. They took Gangplank out of the game.
Really?
For like a few days because he died in the lore.
That's pretty cool, actually.
So maybe they should just kill off Yone permanently.
Again, but he's already dead.
He's half. He's half. No. He's half and half. So like.
Right.
Yes.
All right. League of Legends. Fantastic games. We love to see it.
We do love to see it, but the action's not done yet. While tonight may be over, playoffs do continue the rest of the season. A team for League of Legends does play 7 o'clock on Friday, and Overwatch does play on Thursday at 7 p.m. A team does play on Friday at 7.
Gotta get our plugs correct.
They are correct.
Fair
A
enough.
team plays on Friday.
Fair enough.
I was just told Overwatch, but I know.
Okay, good. You're on top. I wonder why.
I wonder.
All right. Nice seeing you guys again. Great games today. Hopefully we got off on an entertaining note for you on that ARAM match. We'll see you next time.